My name is Evie Lupine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have another video for you all. Today we're going to be doing something I haven't quite done before. We're going to be reacting to Ace Pride content, and I am so excited for this one because I think it'll be a very fun journey, and I was inspired to do this because What's the Safe Word did a very similar video this year that was so funny, and every year I love watching the videos that Mac Does It makes as well, and I wanted to do a similar type of content to that, but do my own Ace spin on it. I wanted to add my own Ace flavor into the equation because I haven't really seen any other Ace people doing this before, and I am filming this towards the end of June because the month just completely got away from me and I had so much other content to make, but I'm hoping that even if I can't make this for the very end of June and it comes out then, that you all will still enjoy it, even if it's in July, because you know what? We deserve to have Pride every month of the year, not just in June. And so with that being said, we're gonna react to some Ace-themed TikToks and memes and stories and cringy merch or not so cringy merch, and just generally have a fun time and have some education along the way. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I think the first one we have here is a TikTok.
Touch me not, harlot, for I am unmoved by your physical ways. So are you gonna come over and cuddle with me forever so I can talk to you about dragons, or what?
And I love this one. It is so accurate. I think it's so funny, and yes, just yes. So the first part of it, with the part where he's like, I'm not moved by your physical ways, and he like shimmies around, like, yeah, that's definitely how a lot of media, where even if the characters are not labeled as Ace in the show or in the movie, a lot of people perceive Ace folk as being entirely repulsed by any form of human contact or eye contact as well, and even like touching bodies. And yes, there are Ace people where that is very much their experience. It is also a valid way to be Ace, but I can only speak for myself as somebody that is asexual but not a romantic here. My romantic side is very much like, yes, please come with me, cuddle with me. I want to tell you about random internet drama and the TV show I just listened to and the book I'm reading, and I want to snuggle forever and ever and ever on the couch. Like, I don't want it to go any farther than that, but I love getting to be physically close, and I love getting to like give each other massages or braid hair or do foot rubs. Like, all of that is very delightful and very rewarding. And I will note one other part of this as well is the dragon portion, and I saw a lot of comments that basically said, why is every Ace person I know so into dragons? And I've never been into dragons. Does that mean I'm not really Ace? Like, if y'all are Ace and into dragons, or into dragons but not Ace, like, please let me know in a comment, because I feel like we actually have different flavors of being Ace, and we have maybe like the dragon Ace and the wolf Ace and like the nature fairy Ace and the technology video game Ace. Like, I don't know what it is. I just feel like we have different flavors of obsessions and interests, and dragons are definitely up there, but they're not the only one. So the next thing that we have here is actually from one of you all. I asked you all to send me in things that you thought I would like to react to or were interesting or funny about Ace Pride content, and one of you sent me this Asexual Pride band, which is a $129 ring, and I actually don't think I hate this. Like, I am not necessarily a big jewelry person. Like, I don't, you guys can tell from my videos, I don't really wear a whole lot. Like, for me, it's very much like a special occasion thing. So I am not an expert at this by any means, but I think I like the design with sort of the almost like cloud-like motif I'm getting from it, like the swirls and everything kind of read cloud-like to me. And also when it comes to pride-related objects, like a ring really makes sense for Ace people because we actually have a pretty big history in the community, you know, as much as we have a history of the community to begin with. We have a history of rings as a symbol of asexuality that we would use to signal to other ace people that that is what we were. And I would love to share with you all now a little bit of a short story about the history of ace rings and that being used as a signal to other ace people. The asexual ring symbol can be traced back to a thread from 2005 on the AVEN forum. A member asked how others expressed their asexuality in a thread called Black Rings and Other Ways to Show Asexual Pride. Plain black rings also coincide with the symbol, and it shows an emoji, which symbolizes asexuality and genderless. This symbol is often written in black simply because it's a common ink color. The exact design and materials do not matter as long as the ring is black. Generally, asexuals wear the black ring on the middle finger of the right hand, and many ace people wear this ring to show their asexuality subtly. Wearing a black ring to symbolize asexuality can also be an inoffensive way of psychologically trying out an asexual identity to see if it fits. Similar to coming out, wearing a ring can help an idea become more real over time and eventually lead to comfort, self-acceptance, and a feeling of being connected to others. And I think that is such a beautiful little story. And I don't wear a black ring, but when I read things like that, I go, maybe I should consider that. But let's move on. We got another TikTok to watch, and I think this one is gonna make a lot of sense for my personality if I can judge by just the preview image.
I gotta look for this one. Today we're doing the asexual flag. This one means a lot to me because it is I. Being on the spectrum to me means like I'm sexy in my brain, but not like IRL. Black gel liner and connect to the shadow. Essentially, we're gonna start fading it into the purple. Does anyone know who makes a good black shadow? Because I'm struggling. And right in the inner corner. Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck. Love that. Can't see shit. Stamp on purple. I'm so sexy, but not with you. And some white liner.
First of all, love the look. I feel like we're wearing very similar makeup somehow, but really, I like it. Oh my gosh, yes. The part about it like only being on the inside but not on the outside. Yep. I suspect we will see more content that relates to that perspective and way of being ace in other parts of this video here. And great look, love the pride flag, love how it's just like celebrated and cool and interesting to do ace stuff on TikTok and on other social media platforms, because I feel like if I was on YouTube 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago probably even, I don't really think I would have seen a lot of content about just like celebrating ace stuff and not being like just education about like what even is this thing. Like we've gotten past where now we don't necessarily need to just be like, all right, this is what being ace means and da-da-da, like explaining it and justifying it and saying, no, we're real. We can just like have fun doing makeup. It's a great look. I love it. And I apparently subconsciously stole the look while doing my own makeup today. So A+ for me. All right, for the next one here, we have a little bit of a meme. And this one says, A is for ally. And then there is what I think is the aromantic flag, the asexual flag, and then I believe the agender flag. It could be something else. If I find out what it is, I will put it up on screen, let y'all know, but I think that's what it is, and then just like setting that on fire. And this is actually something that is very controversial within a lot of spaces, and there's a lot of debate about like, does the A stand for ally? Is it meant to be asexual, agender, like what's the deal here? And I think really the answer is that the A is a bunch of different A's all put together, and I don't really know how much it matters that like the history of it says it was one thing. I think what's more important is now people are using it as a way to include ace people as concretely part of the LGBT plus community. All right, I had a dog hair on my face. I don't know if you guys could see that, but it was really bothering me. And anyways, I do want to add here that I am planning to do a longer video talking about A is for ally and the history of that and where that comes from, because I think there's a lot of confusion about what actually came first and the intentions of it, and ace erasure and inclusion and all of that. I think it's very much worth it to have a larger conversation about this because people get very heated around it. I think, again, for now, it's very clear that it is meant to include ace people in the community, and I feel like it's kind of strange to center allies in the acronym before ace people if it's only meant to be for ally. Like, that kind of seems backwards to me, but what do I know? I'm only a lonely queer ace. What do I know about anything regarding the LGBT plus community? I should obviously defer to the allies about where they belong ahead of us on the list. Getting a little bit heated myself now about this. Let's move on to something that is actually very closely related to this concept. And this person on Twitter shared a photo of this shirt, and it says, "Want this shirt, but afraid everyone will think I mean ally." And it says, "I put the A in the LGBTQIA+. And it is all rainbow designed, so it doesn't really give ace pride to me. I think it actually kind of looks like the ally pride flag, which I think is a thing. I don't know about that. Like, yeah, I probably wouldn't get this shirt. Like, I don't know if you gotta announce it so loudly. Like, there's so many other also clearly ace shirts as well. So is this even really necessary? Like, it sucks that we even have to have this confusion to start with, that somebody's gonna read that and think, oh, you're here at Pride, not because you're one of us, but because you're an ally, like you're still an outsider. And I feel like a lot of ace people really struggle with this as part of their experience, like navigating queer spaces. Like, I feel like a lot of ace people, we have this weird issue with being welcome in spaces, not in a way where it's like, oh, you can't be here because you're this thing and you're not allowed, get out, you're not part of the club. Like, it's almost never that very loud sort of get out. It's like, oh, we just didn't really save a spot for you. And no one on either side, either straight or queer or anything, really seems to be very willing to go out of their way to be like, oh, you belong here. And as an ace person, that can be very, very frustrating, and we feel like we kind of walk this middle path where we're not like queer enough for this group, but we don't get along with the straight way of existence, and so where are we supposed to be? Yeah, it's not always the best, but I think especially in the last couple of years, I've really noticed a lot more ace visibility and inclusion in all sorts of different spaces, not just at Pride, but at other community organizing events more broadly, and I really, really appreciate that. So with that being said, let's look at the next thing here. Okay, so I definitely could not share the audio for this because TikTok, copyright. Also, just imagine like a WAP tier song, like a really, really raunchy song playing in the background, and y'all will know what it was like to listen to this for real. And I almost I don't know how I would explain this to other people that aren't ace. I feel like it's a very similar conversation that I have on my channel a lot about, like, oh no, it can also be non-sexual. Like, it's very difficult, I think, as an outsider to get it. But yeah, like, you can be ace and then on the inside, like, enjoy certain thoughts or fantasies or write fan fiction or watch romantic comedies and really enjoy that. And it's just like this disconnect between like an internal monologue and internal feelings yourself about things that are perceived by society as being sexy, right? And then how you actually perceive it and do it yourself. It can just be a fun creative writing exercise or interesting. And actually, I think maybe the best way to explain it is the way that I process it, which is I sort of feel like an anthropologist who is studying an outside different culture from my own and going, very interesting. Let me try to replicate this by practicing it and seeing what this would be like to do. Fascinating, interesting results here in my brain about this thought process. Like, it's almost sort of like trying to understand why other people that aren't you think the way that they do, and why they get what they get out of it. And like it's very complicated, but as an ace person, definitely relatable, and I understand what is meant by this. And if you're ace and you get it or you don't, let me know in a comment down below. So for the next one here, let me see what we got on my little wheel of fortune of ace content. Oh, we actually have another TikTok. Okay, 2 TikToks back to back. All right.
So you bagged him.
I'm asexual. I don't feel sexual attraction. That does not mean I don't like affection. I still have feelings and like to show love. I'm not broken. I'm asexual.
I love this. This is so good. Okay, I don't know. I think I'm going to be able to use the audio, but in case I can't, I'm going to future-proof myself here by just saying it is a Megan Thee Stallion song, and it is singing about how, like, I'm asexual, I'm not broken, and that doesn't mean I don't want physical affection. And again, I have to say, there are ace people that don't want physical affection, or ace people that are aro ace and do not experience romantic attraction. So again, other ways to be valid and be ace at the same time. But I love the dance, and I love the song, and I love the lyrics as well. Like, yes, very true. And like, you can be ace and like to dance and show off your body and wear certain clothing and like certain music. Like, I love Megan Thee Stallion. Like, I feel like people wouldn't expect that, but I actually listen to like a lot of that genre of music, especially when I work out or when I dance. And I just, again, it's more that like anthropology of like, interesting experience. Don't really know what it's like myself personally, but let's sit in this feeling and observe it. Like, it's almost like, this might seem like a bad analogy, but it kind of reminds me of when you watch a scary movie and you feel scared by proxy, even though you aren't experiencing in real life what is happening in the movie. Like, you kind of get this vicarious experience of it without really feeling it yourself in like a genuine, like, direct way. Like, you're not really going through it yourself. Does that make sense? I don't know. Trying my best here to make it relatable for other people that aren't ace, but I can't say if I've succeeded or not. So with that being said, let's go on to the next one, which might be the last one. We'll see what we have time for here. Okay, no. We actually have 2 more. So we have one more meme first, which is my proud aspec self, and then my horny AF demisexual side. Which I feel like the theme for today is ace people can also have feelings, and it's okay, and we can have pride about that, and that's fine. And the caption actually says with this, the joys of having an autistic special interest in human sexuality and wanting to study it with nearly no one. Okay. What did I just say? What did I spend this whole video explaining about it feeling like you're like an anthropologist and it's not really your culture, but you want to like figure it out and know what it's like? See? Exactly. I know what I'm saying, okay? I get it. And like, yeah, like you can be horny and have a drive towards certain things, but there's attraction, and then there's actually wanting to have physical needs met and certain types of release. And I'm trying to not go too far into it because I really don't want YouTube to demonetize this, but I've talked about all of this in other videos. And with that being said, we have one more thing to go over, and it might be a long one, so buckle in for a second here. Alright, so for this last one here, I wanted to end on a story about the importance of ace visibility and representation at Pride events. And it's a really wonderful, heartwarming story, and I'll just go ahead and start reading it. So it begins by saying, I have a story about my experience at Pride yesterday and why ace visibility is important. So I was planning to go to Pride with a friend, but she canceled on me last minute. And in the morning while I was getting ready, I was reconsidering going. But then I put my outfit on and was like, no, I need to be seen looking like this. I get there. I walk past some stalls. I gather some pamphlets and cards. I buy a gay fan. I'm one of very few with a specific pride flag. I ask someone to take pics of me. My phone has a terrible camera, sorry. and to get out my flag midway for the content. When I'm done taking photos, someone, pictured in the first tweet, walks up to me and asks me where I got my flag, and I'm like, heart, heart, heart? And they were like, heart, heart, heart. So we took photos together. Then I asked if they could just adopt me because I was alone, and they said yes. And I made some cool new friends. It was a big friend group, but we got along. They all had a really cool vibe, as you can tell from my fellow ace in the pics. Everyone complimented my flag and took photos with it, despite not knowing what the flag was or what asexuality was. When I explained it, they were like, oh, cool. Silly, exclusionary queer discourse does not exist IRL. True, though. Really, we all just agreed the ace flag was amazing and waved it together. I had to push myself to get my flag out initially, and at the start, I just kind of carried it on my waist because I was feeling self-conscious. But I knew there would be at least some aces around, and if they saw the flag, they'd come talk to me, and I wanted to know my people. I'm out online, not just to find community, but to help us all find each other. We're like needles, but there's more of us than we realize. I'm No, and then I think it's Yasmin Beno?
I'm Yasmin Benoit. I'm a model and aromantic asexuality activist from Reading, Berkshire.
I do not know how to say their last name, but they are a very prominent ace educator and activist, and I really appreciate their work, and I'm so sorry I don't know how to say that last name. But regardless, the tweet goes on to say, but I'm inspired by her every day to redefine what ace looks like. We're all over the world and hard to spot, but it always feels so wonderful to be seen. I can't wait to see Yasmin Marshall at NYC Pride today. So proud to be a Black Arrow ace. And yeah, that is just all so wholesome, and I think it really goes to show how important it can be to be out and around and visible and saying, hey, like, I'm here, I am ace, this is me. And that will lead to other people coming over to you and talking to you. Not even necessarily other ace people, but other people just like happy to know you and glad that you're around and accepting. And it's very easy online to get sucked into the discourse and mistake reality for the discourse and vice versa, and they are not the same thing at all. And it can really feel like, oh, ace people are never welcome, we're always excluded, people don't think that we're valid, I have to justify myself to everyone. And not everywhere is like that, not everyone is like that. And yeah, it's really nice to be out there and be visible. You never know how your visibility is going to affect someone else, especially when you're talking about a community that is so small. And I know it was so important for me early on in my own ace journey to see other ace people and their own experiences, because my own initial impression was very much like, oh, if you're ace, you have to be this exact thing, this exact way. And so I didn't think I could be ace until much later on. And maybe if I had seen other people be ace sooner in a bigger way, things would have gone differently for me in a more positive direction. But you know what? Who really knows? I hope that you all really enjoyed this. That is the last of the ace content we have for today. I would love to know your thoughts in a comment down below. If you did enjoy this and you would like to, and you haven't already, please do subscribe, because I make videos twice a week about all sorts of different ace and kink and BDSM related content. And I hope that you all enjoyed this once again. If you do want to support me, you can do so on Patreon. A link to that is down below. If you do already support me there, thank you so much. It means the absolute world to me. And until I see you all next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. Bye bye.